What's up everybody, 40 the Broadway Saiyan here, and welcome back again to my YouTube channel with another video on Final Fantasy VII EverCrisis. The topic of today's video is Lifeguard Wraps versus Fairy Tail, and is Tifa a better healer than Aerith? So on my last video, which is my Should You Pull video for Tifa's Lifeguard Wraps and the Seaside Collar for Red 13, I forgot to mention that Tifa's AoE heal is actually cheaper than all of the other current AoE heals we have that comes from weapons at 4 ATB bars versus the other ones that cost 5 ATB. I was noted to me on my comment section, so I do apologize for that because when I recorded that Should You Summon video, I was also live streaming at the same time because I wanted to try something different, and you know, on the fly, sometimes I forget things, so my apologies for that. But with that being said, I saw some really nice discussions on why some people feel like this weapon is actually going to be making Tifa a better healer. So what I'm going to be doing is comparing both of these weapons and then objectively taking a look at their pros and cons, so then we could finally determine who exactly is the better healer currently with what's available in this game. So the first weapon that we're going to take a look at, and I created some nice slides here for you guys with all of the information, and all of this info can be found on Meow's database, which is always linked down below in the video description and pinned comment, so please take a look at it if you want to see it from there. But for the Lifeguard Wraps, and we are taking a look at this at its maximum potential, because we want to see what it could do with its maximum potential, you get the following stats for Tifa: 453 physical attack, 475 magical attack, and 242 heal. The AoE heal at max is 54% of healing, and it is a 4 ATB cost. The reinforcement abilities, one gives you a plus 50 heal and a plus 50% fire resist for the reinforcement ability 2. The support materia are as follows. S1 is physical and magic attack plus 10%. S2 is magic attack plus 20%. And finally, S3 is heal plus 20%. Next, we're going to take a look at Fairy Tail. So Fairy Tail offers Aerith the following stats, assuming you have it level 90 in OB10, 388 physical attack, 453 magic attack, and 283 heal. The AoE heal is based on 74% of healing, and this is at a 5 ATB cost. The reinforcement abilities are as follows. R1 is plus 50 heal, R2 is plus 50% earth resist. And finally, the support material you can acquire is physical magical attack plus 10% at S1. At S2, you have a magic attack at 20%. And then at S3, you have another magical attack at 20%. So what are the pros and cons of Lifeguard Wraps? So the pros are, this is the fastest AoE heal command ability currently in the game. All the other ones are at 5, this one is at 4 ATB bars. It can surpass Fairy Tail with fine tuning, and we'll get into that with the cons. The fire resist, I think, is currently more useful than the earth resist because we do have that Ifrit summon fight, which can be pretty difficult, and if you have Tifa in your party and you're using this as your heal, this can actually help her survive. And she also, well, we'll talk about her gear later on, but the fire resist, I think, is a little bit more useful than the earth resist that the Fairy Tail offers. So what are the cons of this weapon compared to Fairy Tail? Unfortunately, it has the weakest AoE heal command ability without any other modifiers. So if you compare it to Cloud's Crystal Sword, Matt's Prime Number, and Aerith's Fairy Tail, it is weaker. You need to have the support materia 3 unlocked, and you get that at uncapped level 70, and you have to have this weapon equipped on Tifa's main weapon slot to surpass the Fairy Tail, because you get the 100% effect from the support materia. And assuming you have the third support materia, you get that plus 20% heal, which means you actually get that same 74% value that Fairy Tail offers. And this time, it's faster, because remember, it's at 4 ATB. But you need to have it equipped on her main hand in order for it to compete with it. And then the raw stats that this weapon offers, and you could take a look at it on the Meow's database. If you compare it to some of her other weapons, it's not as good. It's like the physical attack on it is pretty subpar. Honestly, even the magical attack on it is subpar, and the heal is just average if we take a look at it. And this will definitely affect her own personal damage. And Tifa has some really great damaging options coming from her other weapons that have better stats. So if you're running Tifa solely for this heal, and you want it to be competitive with some of the other heals in the game, it needs to be on her main hand slot, which means some of her stats are going to suffer and her own personal damage isn't going to be nearly as good. So you need to keep that in mind in order for this weapon to be competitive with Fairy Tail. Alright, so what are Fairy Tail's pros and cons? So the pros for Fairy Tail is it is the strongest AoE heal command ability with no outside influence. It also grants a great amount of magic attack via support materia at 50%. And then the cons are, it is slower compared to Tifa's Lifeguard Wraps. And it does lack that plus 20% heal, but I think they kind of did that to even it out. That's why they gave it to Tifa's Lifeguard Wraps. So what is the final conclusion? Tifa is the faster healer and can surpass Fairy Tail's healing capabilities with proper fine-tuning. Keywords, proper fine-tuning. And Tifa does not have a panic button from her limit break. So unlike Aerith, who has access to another powerful AoE heal, Tifa doesn't have that. So if you're solely using her as your only healer, she'll only really have access to one heal. I mean, you could always influence this with materia, but she'll only have access to that in terms of her command abilities. Aerith is the stronger healer and requires little fine-tuning because Fairy Tail can literally be equipped on her secondary weapon, and you're still going to get that 74% healing modifier from her command ability. And with access to another AoE heal from her Limit Break 1, she is still the overall better healer. So Aerith still edges out. Tifa is faster. Tifa can potentially surpass Fairy Tail with fine-tuning, but overall, I say Aerith is better. So that is going to be my conclusion, and in looking at both of these characters, healing weapons objectively and letting you guys know who is the better healer, I still think it goes to Aerith all in all, but if you want to use Tifa as your main healer, there is absolutely nothing wrong with that. One of the beauties of this game is that because every character has a list of weapons that do different things, you can mix and match and literally play this character however you want. So even if you are using Tifa as your main healer, nothing wrong with that. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that, which I think really makes the game a lot of fun, and there is that level of balance with all of these characters. Now, I know you guys are going to ask me, so I didn't forget, 40, what about their battle gear that involves healing? Which one is better? Well, let's take a look. Let's just take a look, okay? So I'm going to go into draw because I did not pull for Tifa's Lifeguard Wraps. I actually went for Red 13s last night off screen, just letting you guys know, because I wanted that lightning resist down. But let's go ahead and take a look at Tifa's Lifeguard costume. We're going to specifically look at the boost heal, because this is the topic, right? Who's the better healer? So as we can see right here, these are the levels, and at level 10, there is the boosted, there is the points right there. It's plus 50, and that's at the 100% value. Now let's go ahead and take a look at Aerith, the one that you could get from the voucher, okay? Let's take a look. We're going to go ahead and go into my party, because I am using her in my party right now. Here we go. Here it is, the Rosy battle suit. What do we get from this? Well, as you can see right here, the same thing. So they both have the same amount of healing potency when it comes to their into their battle gears. The Lifeguard for Tifa and then the Rosy battle suit. A little bit of a difference though is that Tifa's gives her more HP, while this one gives Aerith more magic defense. I would say in that sense, maybe Tifa's is slightly better because I prefer a lot of HP on my healers because I don't want my healers to die. I want them to survive so they can do what they're best at, which is heal my party and support my party. So in that sense, because it makes Tifa tankier, that one is slightly better. But in terms of just healing, they're both equal in terms of that aspect. All right, guys. Well, this is going to go ahead and conclude my video. Lifeguard Wraps versus Fairy Tail. If you guys have any comments or any, discussion that you want to leave in the comment section below, let me know. I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts on this topic. Let me know if you pulled for Lifeguard Wraps and how you are liking Tifa so far as your healer. Thank you guys again for watching. Stay tuned for the next video and stay blessed, everybody.